Today, I want to share a special story with you, my own journey of learning English. When I was younger, English seemed like a big mountain that I could never climb. I struggled with words, grammar confused me, and I felt shy when speaking. But as time passed, I discovered simple and fun ways to learn English. This story is about how I went from struggling to speaking English with confidence. I hope it helps you too. The beginning. My fear of English. I still remember my first English lesson in school. The teacher wrote a sentence on the board and asked me to read it aloud. My heart started beating fast. I tried, but my words didn't come out right. My classmates giggled, and I felt embarrassed. That day, I decided that English was too difficult for me. I avoided speaking it, never volunteered to read in class, and even skipped English homework whenever I could. One day, my mother noticed my struggle. She said, "Learning a new language is like making a new friend. The more time you spend with it, the better you'll know it. Don't be afraid of English. Make friends with it." Her words stayed with me, and I decided to try again. But this time, I wanted to make learning fun. Step 1. Watching cartoons and movies in English. The first thing I did was watch cartoons in English. At first, I didn't understand much, but I paid attention to the expressions and actions. Slowly, I started recognizing words. Then, I moved to English movies with subtitles. I watched my favorite movie, The Lion King, and repeated the dialogues. When Simba said, "I just can't wait to be king," I repeated it with excitement. This way, I learned pronunciation, common phrases, and new words without even realizing it. Step 2. Reading simple English books. One day, I found a storybook called The Adventures of Tom Sawyer in my school library. The words looked difficult, but I decided to give it a try. I started with just one page a day. Whenever I found a new word, I guessed its meaning from the pictures or searched for it in a dictionary. I wrote down interesting words in a small notebook. Soon, I was reading short English stories and enjoying them. Reading helped me improve my vocabulary and made me feel comfortable with the language. Step 3. Speaking without fear. Even though I was learning new words, I was still afraid to speak. I thought, what if I make mistakes? Then I remembered what my mother said, make friends with English. So I started speaking to myself in English. Every morning I looked in the mirror and said, "Good morning, today will be a great day." Then I started talking to my little brother in English. If I didn't know a word, I found another way to say it. For example, if I forgot the word hungry, I said, "I want food now." This helped me become comfortable speaking without worrying about mistakes. Step 4. Writing every day. To practice writing, I started keeping a daily diary in English. At first, my sentences were simple. Today, I played football. It was fun. But as I learned more words, my diary entries became longer. Today, I played football with my friends. We had an exciting match, and I scored a goal. Writing every day helped me think in English and use new words naturally. Step 5. Making English fun. I wanted learning to be exciting, so I tried different activities. Listening to English songs, I sang along to my favorite songs and learned new words. Playing English games, I played word games and spelling games online. Talking to friends in English, I found a friend who was also learning English, and we practiced together. These activities made learning fun, and I never felt like I was studying. The big moment. My first English speech. After months of practicing, I got the biggest opportunity of my life. My teacher asked me to give a speech in English. I was nervous, but I remembered. I had watched English movies and knew how to pronounce words. I had read books and learned many new words. I had practiced speaking in front of a mirror. I had written in my diary and improved my sentence-making skills. So, I took a deep breath and started speaking. At first, my voice was shaky, but as I spoke, I felt more confident. When I finished, everyone clapped. My teacher smiled and said, "See? You did it." That day, I realized that learning English wasn't about being perfect. It was about trying, making mistakes, and improving every day. Now, English is my friend. Today, I speak English confidently, read English books without fear, and even help others learn. Looking back, I'm grateful that I didn't give up. So, my dear friends, if you are struggling with English, don't be afraid. Try these simple steps. 1. Watch English movies and cartoons. 2. Read simple English books. 3. Speak every day, even if it's just to yourself. 4. Write a little in English daily. 5. Make learning fun with songs, games, and friends. Remember, learning English is a journey. Take one step at a time and soon you'll be speaking confidently. I hope my story helps you. Keep learning, keep practicing, and never be afraid to make mistakes. A new beginning. Helping others learn English. After I gained confidence in English, I realized that many of my friends still struggled with it. Some of them were too shy to speak, others had difficulty understanding grammar, and a few simply believed that English was too hard. I remembered how I once felt the same way, and I knew that if I could learn English in a simple and fun way, so could they. That's when I decided to help others in their journey to learn English, just like I had helped myself. Step 1. Starting a small English group one day, I gathered a few of my friends and said, "Let's learn English together." But no boring lessons, only fun activities. At first, they were unsure. "But we make so many mistakes," one of them said. I smiled and replied, "That's okay. Mistakes help us learn." So we started a small English-speaking group in our neighborhood. Every evening, we met for an hour and did different activities. Role-playing. We pretended to be shopkeepers and customers, ordering food in English. Storytelling. Each of us had to tell a short story in English, even if it was just a few sentences. Speaking challenges. We picked a random topic, like my favorite food, and spoke about it for 1 minute. Slowly, my friends became more comfortable speaking English. They laughed at their mistakes, but they kept trying, and that was the most important thing. Step 2. Using technology to learn. I also discovered that technology can be a great teacher. I introduced my friends to some simple ways to practice English online. English learning apps like Duolingo and BBC Learning English helped us practice grammar and vocabulary. Podcasts and audiobooks. We listened to English stories while doing our daily activities. Talking to people online, we joined English-speaking communities where we could chat with people from different countries. These tools made learning English easy and accessible for everyone. Step 3. Teaching my younger brother. One day, my younger brother came to me and said, "I want to speak English like you." I smiled and said, "Then let's start today." I used the same simple steps to teach him. We watched cartoons together in English. We played Word of the Day. Each day we learned one new English word and used it in a sentence. We made flashcards with pictures and words to learn vocabulary. We sang English songs together and had fun with rhymes. After a few months, my little brother was speaking in full English sentences. I felt so proud, not just of him, but of how simple methods could make learning easy for anyone. Step 4. Overcoming the fear of public speaking. Even though I had improved a lot, I still had one fear: speaking in front of a big audience. One day, my school announced a speech competition in English. My teacher encouraged me to participate. "You've come so far," she said. "This is your chance to inspire others." I felt nervous, but I remembered everything I had learned. I had watched movies and learned pronunciation. I had read books and improved my vocabulary. I had spoken to my friends every day and gained confidence. I had even taught others. So, I gathered my courage, stepped onto the stage, and delivered my speech. I spoke about my journey of learning English, the struggles, the fun methods, and how anyone could learn with simple steps. When I finished, the whole hall clapped. I had done it. Not just for myself, but for everyone who had ever felt afraid of English. The future. Helping more people today. I continue to help others learn English. I volunteer at schools to teach younger children. I create small English lessons for my friends. I encourage everyone to practice a little every day, because I know that's how I improved. If you are learning English, don't give up. Remember, start small. One word, one sentence, one conversation at a time. Make learning fun. Watch movies, play games, and talk to friends. Practice every day. Even 5 minutes is enough. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Every mistake is a lesson. If I could do it, so can you. English is not a mountain. It's a path, and step by step, you can walk it. A new mission. Inspiring more learners. As time went on, I realized that my journey of learning English wasn't just about me anymore. It was about everyone who wanted to learn but felt too afraid or confused to start. I wanted to show them that learning English could be fun, simple, and exciting. So, I made it my mission to help as many people as possible learn English in easy ways. Step 5. Organizing free English classes. One day, I gathered a group of children from my neighborhood. Some of them were struggling in school because they didn't understand English well. I asked them, "What if I told you English is not difficult? What if we could learn it just like a game?" Their eyes lit up with curiosity. So I started free evening English classes. We played Guess the Word. I would describe a word and they had to guess it. We read storybooks together and acted out the characters. We had a talk time session where each student spoke about their day in English. We learned through songs, singing rhymes and fun English tunes. The children began learning faster than they ever had in school. Why? Because they were having fun. One of them, a boy named Rohan, once told me, "Before, I hated English. Now, I wait for your class every day." That made me realize, when learning is fun, it doesn't feel like learning at all. Step 6. Learning from mistakes. Even though I had improved a lot in English, I still made mistakes. Once, I was speaking in English at an event, and I used the wrong word. Some people laughed. For a moment, I felt embarrassed, but then I remembered, mistakes are part of learning. I smiled and said, "Oops, I made a mistake, but that's how we learn, right?" The audience clapped. From that day, I stopped fearing mistakes and started learning from them. If I made a grammar mistake, I corrected it next time. If I mispronounced a word, I practiced it in front of the mirror. If I forgot a word, I found another way to say it. And that's my advice to everyone. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. They are your best teachers. Step 7. Teaching English online. As my confidence grew, I thought, why not help more people? So I started making simple English videos online, sharing the same tips that had helped me. How to learn English by watching movies. Easy ways to remember new words. Don't fear speaking. Try this. To my surprise, thousands of people started watching and thanking me. Some even messaged me saying, "Your methods helped me speak English better." That was when I knew helping others was my true passion. The final lesson. Believe in yourself. Looking back, I see how far I've come, from being too scared to speak English to helping others learn it. But this journey is not just mine, it can be yours too. If you feel nervous about learning English, just start. If you think English is hard, find fun ways to learn. If you make mistakes, laugh, learn, and try again. And most importantly, believe in yourself. Today, I teach English to many people, but I will always be a learner. There is always something new to discover, and I enjoy every moment of it. Now it's your turn. Take your first step, and one day, you might share your own story, just like I did. A lifelong journey. Learning never stops. Even though I had come so far in my English learning journey, I knew that learning never really ends. Every day, I discovered new words, new expressions, and better ways to express myself. English wasn't just a subject anymore. It had become a part of my life. I also realized something important. Confidence comes from practice. The more I practiced, the better I got. And the better I got, the more confident I felt. But the most beautiful part of my journey wasn't just about me. It was about helping others believe in themselves, just like I had learned to believe in myself. Step 8. Helping adults learn English. One day, something unexpected happened. An elderly man in my neighborhood, Mr. Sharma, came to me and said, "I always wanted to learn English, but I was too afraid. Can you teach me?" I was surprised. Until then, I had only helped kids and my friends, but now, an adult was asking me for help. I smiled and said, "Of course. It's never too late to learn." We started with basic words and daily conversations. How do I order tea in English? How do I ask for directions? How do I talk on the phone in English? At first, he hesitated, but I reminded him, mistakes are part of learning. With time, Mr. Sharma started speaking simple English confidently. His happiness inspired me even more. I realized that English is not just for students, it's for everyone. Step 9. Traveling and learning from the world. As I improved, I had a new dream, to travel and use English in different places. One day, I got a chance to visit another city for a student event. There, I met people from different countries who spoke different languages. But do you know what helped us communicate? English. I made new friends. I spoke confidently in discussions. I learned about different cultures. For the first time, I truly understood the power of English. It connected me with people from all over the world. That day, I promised myself, I will never stop learning. Step 10. Inspiring others to learn. Now, my mission is bigger than ever. I continue teaching English to children and adults. I create more online lessons to help people worldwide. I dream of traveling to different countries and learning even more. And most importantly, I encourage everyone to believe in themselves. If I could do it, you can too. Start today. Take one small step. Because every great journey begins with a single word. A new beginning. The power of English in my life. Even though I had reached a good level in English, I knew that learning is a never-ending journey. Every new day brought something new to discover, a new word to learn, a new way to express myself. But the best part? I was no longer afraid. I used to be the boy who hesitated to speak, who was nervous about making mistakes. But now, I stood with confidence, helping others, traveling, and using English in ways I had never imagined. One day, as I sat down and thought about my journey, I asked myself, what's next? The answer was simple. Keep learning, keep teaching, and keep growing. Step 11. My dream to teach on a bigger scale. With the knowledge and confidence I had gained, I realized that I wanted to help even more people. I wanted to start an English club in my community where anyone, kids, adults, even grandparents, could come and learn in a simple and fun way. I wanted to create a free website where people could find easy lessons, watch videos, and practice English with others. I wanted to become a teacher who could inspire students just like the people who had inspired me. I knew it wouldn't be easy, but I also knew something very important. If you believe in yourself, nothing is impossible. So, I started working harder than ever. Step 12. Facing new challenges. Even though I had improved a lot, there were still challenges. Meeting people from different backgrounds meant I had to improve my listening skills. Writing long essays and reports in English was still a bit difficult for me. Speaking fluently in professional situations sometimes made me nervous. But instead of feeling discouraged, I reminded myself, every mistake is a lesson. Every challenge is an opportunity. Every day is a chance to get better. So, I kept practicing. I listened to more English podcasts, wrote more essays, and practiced speaking in front of the mirror. Day by day, I improved. Step 13. A message to everyone who feels nervous about English. If you are someone who wants to learn English but feels nervous, I have one thing to tell you. I was just like you once. I used to struggle with reading. I used to feel scared of speaking. I used to make so many mistakes. But I didn't give up. I found simple ways to learn, and I kept going. And you can too. Start small, learn one word a day, make learning fun, watch movies, listen to songs, practice every day. Even 10 minutes is enough. Don't fear mistakes. Every mistake is a step forward. If I could do it, so can you. Step 14. The future. My biggest dream. Today, I still continue learning and teaching English. But my biggest dream? To inspire millions of people to believe in themselves and learn English with confidence. Maybe one day, I'll write a book about my journey. Maybe I'll travel the world, teaching English in different countries. Or maybe I'll start a big online school where anyone can learn for free. No matter what happens, I know one thing for sure. Learning English changed my life, and it can change yours too. So, my dear friends, never stop learning, never stop believing, and never stop chasing your dreams. Because this is not the end of the story. A journey without an end. The power of language. As time went on, I realized that my English learning journey was more than just about speaking or writing. It was about connecting with people, discovering new opportunities, and gaining confidence in myself. One evening, as I sat with my notebook, thinking about how far I had come, I asked myself, what if I had never started? What if I had let my fear stop me? What if I had believed that learning English was too hard? I smiled because I knew the answer. I would have missed out on so many wonderful experiences. But I did start, and that made all the difference. Step 15. Turning passion into a career. As I grew older, my love for learning and teaching English turned into something even bigger, a career. I started helping others professionally. I became a tutor, guiding students who were just like me when I had first started. I helped students prepare for exams. I trained people to speak confidently in interviews. I even worked with travelers who wanted to communicate better in English. One day, a student I had been teaching for months told me, I got my dream job because of the confidence I gained in English. That was when I knew. This was my purpose. Helping others find their voice in English was the most fulfilling thing I could do. Step 16. Learning never stops. Even though I was now teaching others, I still considered myself a student. Learning never really stops. I continued reading English books to expand my knowledge. I listened to English podcasts to improve my pronunciation. I practiced writing stories and essays to become better at expressing myself. And most importantly, I kept reminding myself that mistakes are not failures, they are lessons. Every new word I learned, every new conversation I had, and every new student I taught made me better than the day before. Step 17. Reaching the world. One day I had a big idea. Why limit my teaching to just my local community? Why not share my knowledge with the whole world? So I started an online platform where people from different countries could learn English through my lessons. People from different parts of the world joined my classes. I spoke with learners from countries I had never even visited. My videos reached thousands of people who wanted to learn. I was amazed. The same boy who had once been too shy to speak English was now teaching it to the world. This was the power of learning. This was the power of believing in yourself. Step 18. A message to you now. As I sit here writing my story, I want to leave you with something important. If you are afraid to speak English, take the first step. If you think you will make mistakes, remember that mistakes help you learn. If you feel like giving up, remind yourself why you started. I started my journey with small steps, and today I stand with confidence. You can do the same. Whether you want to learn English for school, for a job, for travel, or just for fun, believe in yourself. A new chapter, helping the next generation. As I continued teaching English and sharing my experiences, I realized that my journey had inspired many people. Students, friends, even strangers messaged me, telling me how my story gave them hope. One day, a young girl named Aisha, who struggled with English, came to me and said, I want to learn, but I'm scared I'll never be good enough. I smiled and told her, I used to feel the same way. But do you know what helped me? Taking small steps every single day. I began helping Aisha using the same methods that had helped me, reading simple books to build confidence, speaking a little English every day, even if it was just one sentence, listening to songs and repeating the words, writing short notes in English to practice. At first, she hesitated, but after a few weeks, she ran up to me excitedly and said, I spoke in English today without fear. That moment reminded me why I love teaching, seeing others grow and believe in themselves. Step 19. English opens doors to the world. As I continued helping people, I saw something amazing. English was changing their lives. One of my students got a scholarship to study abroad. A friend of mine got a job in an international company. A young boy I taught became confident enough to travel and explore new places. That's when I realized English is not just a language. It's a key to new opportunities. It connects people. It opens doors to new experiences. It gives you confidence to express yourself. And most importantly, it shows you that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. Step 20. Looking back at my journey. One evening, I sat down and thought about everything I had been through. I remembered the boy who was too afraid to speak. I remembered the mistakes, the struggles, the moments of self-doubt. I remembered how I kept going, even when it felt difficult. And now, here I was, teaching, inspiring, and making a difference. I smiled because I knew one thing for sure. If you believe in yourself, nothing is impossible. I had once thought learning English was too difficult, but I proved myself wrong, and so can you. Step 21. Your journey starts now. If you've read my story, I hope it has inspired you. If you're struggling with English, don't give up. Start small, keep practicing, and remember that mistakes are part of learning. Speak a little English every day. Read simple books and watch English movies. Practice writing short sentences. Most importantly, believe in yourself. Because one day, just like me, you will look back and realize how far you've come. So, my dear friends, this is not the end of the story. This is the beginning of your journey. A never-ending journey. Growing beyond limits. As time passed, my journey with English took me to places I had never imagined. The more I learned, the more opportunities opened up for me. But most importantly, I discovered that teaching and inspiring others was my true passion. One day, I received an email from a school in another city. They had heard about my work and wanted me to give a talk about how learning English can change lives. At first, I felt nervous. Speaking to a large audience was a big responsibility. But then I remembered something important. Confidence comes from experience. I had been through this journey myself, and now it was my turn to share my story with others. Step 22. The day I spoke on stage. The day of my speech arrived. As I stood in front of a hall full of students, teachers, and parents, my heart raced. But then, I took a deep breath and started with a simple sentence. I was once just like you, afraid to speak, afraid to make mistakes. But today, I stand here because I believed in myself. I shared my story, my struggles, my small victories, and the lessons I had learned along the way. How I started reading simple books, how I practiced speaking every day, how music and movies helped me improve, how writing small paragraphs gave me confidence. As I spoke, I saw students nodding, some even smiling as they related to my experiences. And at the end of my talk, something beautiful happened. Students came up to me, eager to start their own learning journey. That day, I realized that helping others was the greatest reward of all. Step 23. Expanding my mission. After my talk, I knew I wanted to do more. I didn't want my journey to stop here. I wanted to reach thousands, maybe even millions of learners around the world. So, I took another big step. I started a blog to share tips and personal experiences. I created online videos to help people learn easily. I wrote an ebook about my journey and practical ways to learn English. Slowly, more and more people started reaching out. Your story gave me hope. Thank you. I was scared to learn English, but now I believe I can do it. I have started practicing daily, and I'm already improving. Every message reminded me why I started, to help others find the confidence I once struggled to find. Step 24. A message to you, the reader. Now, my dear friend, as you read my story, I want you to know, you have the power to learn. You have the ability to grow. You can achieve anything if you believe in yourself. English is not difficult. It is just a skill, like riding a bicycle or cooking a meal. The more you practice, the better you become. Start today. Read a small paragraph. Speak one new sentence. Listen to an English song. Be patient. Improvement takes time, but every small step counts. Believe in yourself, because if I could do it, so can you. Step 25. The journey never ends. Even today, I continue learning. I continue improving. I continue teaching. Because learning has no end. Every day is a new chapter, a new opportunity, a new adventure. And now, my friend, it's your turn. Go out there, learn, grow, inspire. Your story is just beginning. A new adventure, inspiring the world. Even though I had accomplished so much, I knew my journey was far from over. The more I learned, the more I wanted to share with others. One evening, as I sat by my desk, looking at messages from students and learners around the world, I realized something important. My journey was no longer just about me. It was about every person who had ever felt afraid to learn English, about every student who wanted to improve but didn't know where to start, and about every dreamer who believed that learning a new language could change their life. So, I asked myself a new question. How can I help even more people? Step 26. Creating a global learning community. I decided to take a bold step. I created an online learning community where people from all over the world could join, learn, and practice English together. A place where beginners could ask questions without fear. A place where learners could share their progress. A place where people could practice speaking with real conversations. At first, only a few people joined. But soon, more and more learners found their way into our community. From different countries, different cultures, and different backgrounds, they all had one thing in common: the desire to learn and grow. And the best part? They started helping each other. A student from India helped a learner from Brazil with grammar. A teacher from the UK gave pronunciation tips to a beginner from Japan. A young girl from Egypt, who had once feared speaking, became a confident English speaker. It was beautiful to see how language could connect people across borders. English was no longer just a subject. It was a bridge that brought the world together. Step 27. My biggest lesson: learning never stops. Even though I had helped thousands of people, I still considered myself a learner. I continued reading books to expand my vocabulary. I practiced speaking to improve my fluency. I wrote daily to strengthen my expression. Because learning has no finish line. Every day, I discovered something new. Every conversation taught me a lesson. Every mistake helped me grow. And I wanted to remind everyone, including you, dear reader, don't wait for the perfect moment to start learning. Don't fear mistakes. They are proof that you're trying. Don't compare yourself to others. Focus on your own progress. Every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to success. Step 28. Looking into the future. Now, as I write this, I still have many dreams. To travel the world and teach English in different countries. To publish a book that inspires learners everywhere. To build a free English learning platform that helps millions of people. And most importantly, I want to continue reminding people that learning English is not just about words and grammar. It's about confidence, opportunities, and believing in yourself. So, my dear friend, wherever you are in your journey, keep going, Your future is bright, your dreams are possible, and your story is just beginning. Step 29. A final message to you. If you followed my story, I hope it has inspired you. I was once afraid. I once doubted myself. But I didn't give up. And today I stand here telling you, you are capable of achieving anything. You are stronger than your fears, and your journey is waiting for you to take the first step. So go out there, learn, grow, shine. Because one day, just like me, you will look back and say, I did it. A new beginning, your story, awaits. Even after all the progress I had made, I knew that learning and growing would never stop. Every new day was a chance to improve, to explore, and to inspire others. One morning, as I sipped my tea and looked outside my window, I thought about all the people who were still afraid to start learning English. How many dreams were being delayed because of fear? How many people felt stuck just like I once did? How could I reach even more learners and help them believe in themselves? That's when I realized this journey was not just mine. It belonged to everyone who wanted to grow, and that included you. Step 30. Passing the torch. I had shared my story. I had helped thousands of people. But now, it was time for you to take the next step. Do you dream of speaking English fluently? Do you want to travel the world, study abroad, or get a better job? Do you want to feel confident when speaking English? Then, my friend, your journey starts today. Step 31. Simple steps to keep moving forward. If you're wondering where to start, here's what I've learned. Read something every day, even if it's just a short paragraph. Speak aloud, even if it's just to yourself in front of a mirror. Listen to English podcasts or songs. Repeat what you hear. Write a journal in English, even if it's just a few sentences. Practice with others. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. And most importantly, never stop believing in yourself. Mistakes are proof that you're learning. Every effort you make is a step closer to your goal. Step 32. The magic of confidence. One of the biggest lessons I learned on my journey was that confidence is everything. English is not just about grammar rules and vocabulary. It's about expressing yourself, connecting with others, and believing that your voice matters. I used to be scared. I used to doubt myself. But when I stopped worrying about being perfect and started focusing on progress, everything changed. The moment you believe in yourself, the world opens up for you. And I promise you, you are capable of more than you think. Step 33. Your story begins. Now, as I finish writing my story, I want to ask you, what will your story be? What dreams do you want to achieve? What small step can you take today to get closer to your goal? You don't have to be perfect. You just have to start. And one day, just like me, you will look back and realize you did it. Step 34. The end? No, just another beginning. Go forward with confidence. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep believing in yourself. Your journey is waiting, and the world is ready to hear your voice. This is not just my story. This is your story now. So, my dear friend, go out there and make it amazing.